Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to another F1 2020 My Team video. Here comes race number 6 of the 2020 schedule. We are now at Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix. You guys can see that the weather for the second race weekend in a row is not going to be all sunshine. We have rain for qualifying. It's definitely going to rain during qualifying, so that may throw a wrench into our plans, and we'll see how that affects our qualifying, whether it makes it better or worse. I'm not exactly optimistic when it comes to qualifying in the wet, because I feel like the AI they're probably just a lot better at single lap pace in the wet than I would be, especially if it's truly wet conditions. So we will get some practice programs in to see how our race pace is looking, but you know, qualifying is going to be a whole different animal. You guys see the way the development chart is looking as we are a couple of races now into this season. We're starting to get our feet wet, and we are actually about to pass our first qualifying program in this career mode. We have failed every qualifying program spectacularly. I don't know why they make the qualifying program so hard, but we actually passed one of them, so thank the heavens. It looks like our pace might not be too bad, but then when we look at the speed chart, our speed in the softs is not even close to most people's speed in the medium tires. So I don't really know what to expect, as we're going to sim the next two practices as we normally do, and then head into qualifying. So as you guys see, our car is better than the AlphaTauri, it's better than the Haas, and it's better than the Williams for sure. It's somewhat on par with the Alfa Romeo, and then it's lagging behind the Renault, the McLaren, and the Racing Point as far as the best of the rest. So it is most definitely pouring on qualifying day. Fans still in the stands though as we get ready to rumble. It's full on wet, so let's just hope for the best, I suppose. Going down the straightaway, things are looking good, but that's the easy part. Now that we maneuver these corners, things were looking promising for a second, but now we drop down to P17, P16. The past couple of races, that's been about where we've qualified, around that, 14th to 16th area. Besides the Vietnam Grand Prix, that seems to be about where our team is at as far as qualifying pace. You see, Lewis Hamilton is currently pacing the rest of the field right now. Ourselves, we are looking like, we might be faster than the Williams, and that's about it. Kind of similar to that Vietnam qualifying session where we just didn't have the pace, but that was just our pace at the track. I'm somewhat confident in our pace here in Barcelona to be, decent compared to the AI, but in the wet conditions, it's just not happening. It really is not happening. We're still in the 20th position, and that's before we head into this final sector that is definitely tricky. And now we drop to 21st, and we may qualify dead last for the first time in our career if we do not get anything going in these final couple of corners. We're flirting between 20th and 21st. Assumably, it's me and George Russell battling for the 20th position right now, hypothetically, as we absolutely miss the final chicane. We get a warning for corner cutting. I slowed down to do what I could to avoid, getting my lap completely invalidated, which I guess we did. We didn't really improve our time nonetheless. It's going to be, it looks like, P21 out of 22 for the Spanish Grand Prix. Now, as you guys may remember, we fitted a lot of new engine parts before this Spanish Grand Prix. As you guys see, Mazepin for the second time this season has outqualified us, and it's not even close. So clearly there's more pace in the wet for our car. It's just that the driver and myself did not get it. And if Mazepin's doing that, then, we could have easily had a better qualifying position than even him, because Mazepin is not that fast. So you guys see, that's not going to do too well as far as our rivalry with Giovinazzi. And, yeah, so we had put in new engine parts before we got to Spain. We're actually going to put in we're going to make brand new parts. And it's going to cost us a grid penalty, but, I mean, what is the penalty? We're starting 21st. The worst thing that could possibly happen is we start 22nd. So why not build some brand new parts so we can take the grid penalty now rather than a different race when we don't qualify next to last?
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Perez, Ricciardo, Stroll and Carlos Sainz, Norris, Kvyat, Kimi Raikkonen and Ocon, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly and Roman Grosjean, Mazepin, Russell, Latifi and Cook. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about that grid penalty. 192 place grid penalty? Like, that is a bit over dramatic, alright? We only lost one position, so 192 is just a figurative number, as we have 5 red lights on and 5 red lights out. Very quickly, we are underway with the 2020 Spanish Grand Prix. Not exactly a fantastic getaway for us, but I mean, we just kind of have our chance to survey the back of the grid and just very strategically lunge our way into the first corner, overtaking the Haas of Grosjean that locked up, overtaking the Williams of Russell, who is just going to stay behind us, as well as Grosjean. We have Latifi and Gasly up ahead as we try to gain as many positions as we possibly can on this opening lap. This is our chance to make some moves, as we are going to try to take Latifi. The AI stacking up in the hairpin under braking, and we do dispatch of the Williams, as does Grosjean there, getting a position. Up ahead, you see Mazepin in P17. That would probably be like a career best for him. Actually, his career best, I think, is like 15th in Vietnam. But nonetheless, Mazepin not exactly getting anything done, so we might have to pass Mazepin right here, right now. We're going to go as late as we possibly can, and slowly deciding how far we can take it, and we overtake the cars. Not 1, not 2, but 3. We took down Mazepin, our teammate. We got all the way to K-Mag, and, you know, I was going to take it easy, but K-Mag wasn't exactly accelerating out of that corner with a quick burst, so we took advantage. We got ourselves from P22 to P16 in 1 lap, so that is definitely a great opening lap of the race. Even though we didn't, you know, just get them all at the start of the race into the first corner, we slowly but surely gained our position, so now we're behind the Renault of Esteban Ocon, which is a familiar position for us. Remember, the entire first stint in the Netherlands in the rain, we followed Esteban Ocon, so a bit of deja vu for us as you guys see a replay of the opening lap sequence. Nothing too spectacular there, so we fast forward to the end of lap 3, where at this point DRS is activated and we are desperately trying to stay within DRS range of Esteban Ocon and Antonio Giovinazzi and everybody else up ahead of them. It looks like Raikkonen and both the McLarens in the mix there. Meanwhile, behind us, K-Mag is falling a bit behind in the Haas, which, you know, is definitely, along with the Williams, the 2 slowest cars on the grid. So having K-Mag behind us, probably a good thing, so we could back everybody up. Though he is backing up Mazepin, which is unfortunate, because at the end of the day, it would be nice for Mazepin to succeed and, you know, do something good, bring some money into this team, right? Like, let's be selfish for a second. We're not here for Mazepin's personal success. We're here for Mazepin to do something good for the Cookie Monsters, which he just legitimately has not done. Not only did he DNF in the last race, he cost us $10,000 worth of damages before he retired on lap 4. So at least, you know, he's made it further in Spain than he did in the Netherlands, right? That's a positive. As long as he completes the laps and gets us our bonus for completing 75 laps on a race weekend, I can't be too mad at him. So Daniel Kvyat is 2-stopping in this race for some odd reason. All of the top runners started the race on the medium. Since we qualified in the wets, everybody had a chance to choose their tire compound at the start of the race. So that completely throws strategy out the window, whereas if in a normal qualifying session, the top 10 qualifiers would all be on the softs, and they would probably have to two-stop in this race, or go softs and then hards to the end. And then everybody outside the top 10, as you guys saw in the race strategy window before the race started, we will be going from mediums to hards. Whoa, we're on the gravel here. This is a big mistake, and this is our first real moment of the race, as we have Kevin Magnussen, who has ran us down from 5 seconds back. These mediums are definitely on their last lifeline. Magnussen's on his last nerve running behind us, but he is just a bit too far off to make the move. We gave him every opportunity to sneak the nose in there, getting into the gravel before the long run, and thankfully we do hang on to this position. The pit window is open for us to come down, so we are definitely going to box this lap without question, as we missed the bollard right there, but we'll just casually not get penalized and make our way into the pits. You see K-Mag did stay out. Gasly behind us does come into the pits. K-Mag and Gasly both ran us down in that final sequence before we got down the pit road. So now you see Mazepin is in, Latifi's in, and K-Mag is in. And thankfully for us, we are going to get a nice undercut on K-Mag. Remember, Magnussen was on the back of us before pit stops, and now he is, it looks like a second, maybe second and a half back. So, all right, maybe more like 2 seconds. So, good undercut for us. That gets Magnussen out of DRS range after he worked so hard to get to our back bumper. So that's why it was important for us to make sure K-Mag didn't pass us there before we got into the pits. So, yeah, the point I was making about the whole strategy thing, Kvyat was literally the only car in the grid to start the race on the softs, which meant that, well, he's two-stopping. So there's Kvyat in the pits for the second time, so that's going to completely destroy his race. I don't know, he was trying to bank on a safety car coming out at some point, maybe, I don't know, trying to go contrarian, but it's definitely not going to work out for the AlphaTauri today. So you see Gasly in 17th and Kvyat further back down the running order. Kvyat's definitely fast right now, but he's going to be stuck in traffic. Meanwhile, for us, we've pulled away from K-Mag. We are not catching, actually we are catching Esteban Ocon a little bit, but not too much, not enough to where it's going to make a difference in this race, as we have double DNF. Is there a wreck going on? I had to pause the game and go use the flashback feature to see if something happened between Bottas and Leclerc, and it looks like it's just a casual double retirement at nearly identical times and the nearly identical spots. So, yeah, that's interesting. So you see Bottas parked to the left, Leclerc a little bit further down. It looks like a little mini graveyard on the front straight here in Barcelona. That's two of the top runners out of this Spanish Grand Prix. Unfortunately for us, that's not going to boost us into a points position. The way we've been running this season, normally, you know, we've had great fortune like that, watching top cars retire, and that would put us in a position to get points. But it just hasn't happened. The pace has not been there. We had a chance to tag to the back of Ocon and Giovinazzi early on. Never could do that. Really fell off at the end of the first stint, and we just stayed in this position the entire race. I don't know what else to say. This Spanish Grand Prix was very uneventful for us. We did our most work on the first lap. We did our only work on the first lap. Otherwise, we had a lap up defending K-Mag, and that was it. We were just chilling in P15 the entire time. We ended up P13 after the retirements of Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton, I believe, is a winner once again, claiming victory here in Barcelona. So that's back-to-back victories from Lewis Hamilton after he won last weekend. Lewis now four-time winner this season. He barely beats Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. So it looks like the Ferrari might have really been the faster of the three cars right there. Lewis might have been the slowest, but nonetheless, we do end this race with a P13. Definitely humble pie being served to us for sure today. This is where we should be finishing, and this is where we finally finish, outside of the points. Bring it, Claire.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd say so. We gained 9 positions, got driver of the day. It was a valiant effort to go from P22 to P13 cleanly, and, you know, there's nothing to be disappointed about in this race, so we'll keep our head high.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Yeah, we got a little bit lucky. You guys might have underestimated me. Not sure. Don't really care. Let's move on.
How do you feel this season is going for you? Is the car competitive?
Now, this is an interesting question. Is the car competitive? Like, honestly, is this car competitive? I'd say we are starting to make some inroads. The way we were able to at least maintain like a P15, P13, I'd say that's pretty good for us. So, you know, team's working good.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah. All right, so we got ourselves tied in the rivalry with Giovinazzi. So Giovinazzi has beaten us in back-to-back races, but it looks like we are ahead by 6 points. It's the first to 30 wins a rivalry, as you guys might have seen right there. So we are looking like we're going to beat Giovinazzi, barring some really bad races. The next race is Monaco, and I'm actually looking forward to Monaco. I think Monaco is a good track for us to overcome some of our deficiencies in our car and get good position by, just out-driving some people. As you guys noticed, for the second race in a row, we did not get the sponsor goal bonus for completing 75 laps by 1 lap this time. And that is because Nikita Mazepin got lapped right before the end of the Spanish Grand Prix. So we had 74 out of 75. If Mazepin doesn't get lapped, we get the sponsor goal. That's unbelievable. What's also pretty unbelievable is the fact that my game crashed while I was simming through the week. So, yeah, after I load back into the My Team mode, it looks like we never simmed any of the days. So we're just going to sim the days again, I guess, and see our secondary wing flaps worked out for us. The spark plugs did not. But one thing I did not do before I simmed the week again was update our weekly calendar, which you guys saw. I had weekly activities planned out, including something to actually help out Mazepin for the first time. I forgot to put those in. I honestly, I just thought they were in there already. I just kind of, I guess my mind wandered off since the game dashboarded on me, and it's going to cost us a little bit of, I don't know what we lost exactly, but we didn't gain anything, that's for sure, so that's unfortunate. Bit of a glitch in the game, but we will move on, and we will end this video by upgrading, I believe, the chassis facility once again. Yes, we are going to upgrade the chassis facility. So we got some upgrade. We got an upgrade on the way for Monaco. We have one that's going to have to be rebuilt, which we're working on now, and that's where we stand. So leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed what you guys saw today. Nothing too special, but that's how it goes sometimes. Subscribe for some more F1 2020 My Team videos, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you, as always, for watching.